What's up, YouTube? This is Guy, and today we're checking out a really cool watch from an independent watch company out of England or Great Britain. You'll have to forgive me. I'm actually not that knowledgeable in terms of geography. I never did entirely understand what the difference was between England and Great Britain and the United Kingdoms, so again, forgive me. But yeah, what happened was the company that makes this watch here, the Camden Watch Company, reached out to me, unfortunately, a while ago, and I do have to apologize to them for taking so long to get to this review. I had the hurricane evacuation, and my whole kind of world got flipped upside down, and I'm way behind on my reviews. But anyway, they reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to check out and review one of our watches? And they gave me a link to their website and a bunch of information about the company. So I went over there and I took a look at the products they have, and they have, I think, like 5 different product lines, and one of them in particular I really liked the look of it, which was this one here that's sitting on the table, obviously. And then I started reading about the company, and what I found out was really actually pretty interesting. What they are, Camden Watch Company, is an independent British watch brand, and they make watches inspired by the industrial history of their town, which is Camden, Camden, England. They're founded in only a few years ago, 2014, I believe, and they offer, affordable but high quality watches, basically. They again have a current product line of 4 or 5 different models that all offer quartz movement-based watches. But however, after checking out this review, if you like what you see, I do encourage you to go over to their Kickstarter page, because they are currently running a Kickstarter for an automatic version that is very similar to the model that we have on the table here today. And this model is called the number 29. But yeah, they have a Kickstarter for an automatic version that looks honestly even cooler than this. And I believe it still has 45 days left to go, and it's already 150% funded. So I guess those watches are for sure going to get made. But yeah, I encourage you to drop over there and take a look at it. I'll have a link down in the description of this video if you're interested. But yeah, that watch also looks really cool. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about this quartz-based version, the number 29 that we have on the table here. So yeah, they asked me to review this watch, and when I got to researching about the company and learning a little bit about their history and what they stand for, I was like, yeah, I would like to check out what you guys have. They're again an independent company, and they seem to have a lot of heritage, and they really care about where they're from and what they're making and paying tribute to that area. Again, Camden, England. It almost tugged at my heartstrings a little bit, in the same way that I might feel really strongly about a small independent American-made watch. If there was an American-made watch company, I would want to do my best to support them. And while I'm not British, I have that same respect for what they're doing there. I thought that was a really cool story. So yeah, I said, obviously, send it over and I'll check it out. And so far, the truth of the matter is I'm pretty impressed with this watch. Yes, it's a quartz-based watch, and I know a lot of people are going to probably, well, maybe not a lot, but some people certainly are going to say in the comments, I'd never buy a quartz watch, blah, 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 whatever. As you probably know, if you've been watching my channel over the last year, I don't really hold favorites. I like quartz movement watches. I own several. I've reviewed many. I don't find there to be any problem. If I like the style, if the quality is there, I'll wear a quartz watch 100% of the time. I have no issue there. I'm not beholden to one technology over the other like some people might be. First thing I want to do before we get into this review is give you guys a look at the packaging. Do sort of an unboxing, basically. And while I have opened this up just to, verify that the watch was in the box, I repackaged everything up, and I wanted to show you guys sort of an unboxing and give you a look at the packaging, because I think it's really well done. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to jump perspectives over to that, and then I'll be back with the full review of the actual watch. Whenever I do a product review and I spend 10 seconds talking about the packaging that the product comes in, I inevitably get a couple of comments down below with people complaining about how they don't care about the product packaging, it doesn't matter, yada yada yada. Yeah, I get it. I understand why somebody wouldn't care, and you're entitled to that opinion if that's the opinion you have about it, but I'm actually one of the people that does kind of enjoy the packaging that a product comes in. It's an art form, make no mistake. Somebody put a lot of time and effort into designing the customer's initial impression of the product. And I guess because I have a bit of a background in the graphical arts, it's just something that I can appreciate. Again, I don't know that it's a hugely important aspect of the product, but I do think that, when it's done well, you should take note and give credit where credit's due. Now, in the case of the Camden Watch Company watch that we're reviewing today, I think that the packaging is really done exceptionally well. And whoever is responsible for this over there at Camden should be proud of themselves. It's not super high-end luxury packaging. It's just really well done. It's really well presented. And my initial impression when I opened this box was, I was a little bit wowed, I guess, for lack of a better word. Just because it speaks to my sense of design. And maybe it won't speak to your sense of design. But yeah, I really liked it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a couple of minutes here and show it to you guys. If you're one of those complainers that doesn't like product packaging at all and you could care less about it, I don't know what to say. You can't please everybody. Go ahead and fast forward the video. But yeah, I did want to give the people that do care, like myself, a look at it, and I also wanted to give, again, credit where credit is due. So thumbs up to whoever's responsible for this. Now, initially, the package that we get in the mail here is a rather unassuming cardboard box. It's got this little sticker on the side here, delivered to you from Camden Town, London, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. If you want to read all that text, feel free to pause the video and check that out. But once we open that up, we are presented with a lot of really cool touches. So I'm going to go ahead and peel into it. So upon opening up this outer cardboard box, we got a couple of things in here. And I'm going to pull these out, and I'm going to go ahead and show it all to you guys individually. And then buried deep down inside here is the watch. I'm going to slide this box off the table and show you what we got here. Number one, we get a little bit of a little packet of English breakfast tea, which, it's a nice touch. Number two, we get, we'll go through this one last. We get a little card here, Camden Watch Company, creators of fine timepieces, designed in the heart of Camden Town. On the other side here, a little bit of information about their website, social media, pages, and everything else. Again, just everything that they're doing here with the fonts and the graphics and the layout, I just find it very appealing coming from a graphical arts background. I think that they really just put this all together really nicely, but it's nothing, super special. We're just talking about a nice cardstock here. Moving along, we have the Camden Watch Company behind the brand. It's a little bit of information that they give you about their brand. It's a nice little read, something to keep with your watch. If it's, something that you're going to enjoy and appreciate, it's kind of cool little added value thing here. After that, we have a couple of other pieces of cardstock here. This tells you about the number 29, which is the model that we have here on review today. And on the back side, it's like a postcard basically with their logo and whatnot. And again, just like graphically, the design that whoever they hired, who's the graphic artist that they hired for this, they really captured the sense of the brand and the watch here with all of these extra little, again, it's just paper. I collect comic books and magazines and all kinds of stuff, so I love paper stuff like this. And it just has a very old world feel to it that I really appreciate. Another little cardstock here, kind of like an advertisement with postcard style. And then a third one here. Finally, we have this brown envelope we'll go ahead and, I mean, look at, like, it's little, right? It's just a little thing, but this nice little kind of twine string wrapping on it to seal the envelope. I don't know. Again, it just has this old world feel or charm. I really dig it. Go ahead and pull everything out here. Here's the little note that Christina sent me. Some extra information about the Camden Watch Company brand. And again, if we kind of just check this all out, I mean, there's like this nice faint, almost like watermark graphic behind, like an old-timey typewriter font. I really like it. And then some technical details about this particular model watch, the number 29. It's just really quite well done. It's really nice touches. Again, small little things. I don't think that they probably spent a ton of money producing all of this stuff. It's just paper, cardstock, printing, graphic design. So nobody should get, their panties in a twist over the company going overboard with all of this stuff. I just really do appreciate that somebody spent the time to kind of give you, I don't know, the impression of, what it's like in their world, in this case in England, Camden Town. I feel like it captures the sense of that. So now back over in the box, we have all of these little accordion cut strips of, I don't know, paper, cardstock. It's kind of the packing material. And then we have the watch itself. I'll pull this box out and trying to not make a huge mess with all this little cardstock. I'll set that aside. And now here is the package that the watch comes in. And then again, really, really simple, just, cardboard, graphic design, this nice little twine wrap, the number 29 information about, the not the brand, but the line or the actual watch product. Number 29, some information about it, inspired by Victorian pocket watches, such as those worn by Camden train workers, etc. Go ahead and pop the twine string off and unwrap this. And I don't know, like, just opening this package, it's kind of, I don't know, like an experience, I know most people are not going to care, and they're going to say, why are you wasting 10 minutes showing us all of this stuff? Because I dig it, I like it. I think that this is a nice part of the process of opening up and getting to know your new watch. Go ahead and pop that open. And there's more stuff. We have this little envelope here. When we pop that open, if I can get the stuff out. It's your Camden Watch Company guarantee. Flip that over. Gives you your guarantee information. Set that aside, and then a little piece of paper here. And off the top of my head, I forget what was on this, but we'll refresh my memory together. What do we got here? The Camden Watch Company, congratulations on your purchase. Kind of just a little thank you letter, more or less. But we're not done yet. So then within inside of this brown cardboard box, we have the watch box. And another really well done presentation. I mean, nothing super high-end here, just a nice cardboard box, but the printing, the design, everything, it's really, really nice. Pop this box open, and there we finally get to our Camden number 29 wristwatch sitting inside the box on a nice little, typical black pillow. So that's all of the packaging on this watch. That's everything that you get to go through and look at as you're opening it up. Again, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and express to whoever was responsible for all of this that I enjoyed the experience. It was honestly value added in my opinion, considering that at this price point, this is a really high value watch to begin with. So thumbs up and good job with that, guys. Alright, so what we're looking at here, again, is the Camden Watch Company number 29. And all of the watches in their product line, if you haven't checked out their website, all are called number something, 14 or 24, and I believe they're all named after roads in the town where they live and where they make these watches, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why, it's number 29, number 137, whatever those are. I don't know the names of all of the products in the line. But I think that's cool. They're basically kind of paying tribute to where they're from. And again, that whole thing, again, tugs on my heartstrings a little bit, and I really respect what they're doing from that regard. Now, about the watch itself. Here's basic specifications on it. First of all, price-wise, I think that the price is pretty reasonable, $145 US. Then if you look at their website, they have the prices in all different currencies, but $145 in American monies, which isn't bad. It's probably, and in quality, in terms of quality and price, very similar to any of the Seiko quartz watches that I've reviewed. So I don't find it to be overpriced. I think actually that it's probably a pretty good value at under 150 bucks. Specifications wise, what we're looking at here is a 43 millimeter case diameter from end to end, not including the crown. A thickness, a very nice trim thin watch at only 9 millimeters, maybe a hair over 9 millimeters. Our lug width is a typical 22 millimeters, and then lug to lug, from the top of the lugs to the bottom of the lugs, or what I like to call a watch's wingspan, we have roughly 48 millimeters on my caliper. So overall, it is a pretty good size watch. Not exactly tiny, although that thickness is very, very thin. Of course, you'd kind of expect that with a quartz watch since there's less going on inside the movement, but other than the thinness, it is a little bit big, in my opinion. Not necessarily a negative, it's just that I prefer, and I would love to see this exact watch in like a sub 40 millimeter, like 38 or 39. I think that would be perfect for me, because everything else other than the sizing, I really am digging about this watch. It is, again, a Japanese quartz movement. We do have water resist of 50 meters. On the back side of the case, we do have a screw down case back. The crystal is a flat, I believe, mineral crystal. You would think, because there's obviously kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost an homage isn't quite the word, but sort of a pocket watch style aesthetic that you might expect to have a domed crystal, but actually the flat crystal keeps it even nicer and thinner and trimmer. So, I'm not sure. Maybe I would like a domed crystal, but I certainly don't dislike the flat mineral crystal that's on it. And while I don't think that the crystal is AR coated at all, I can tell you that I'm not having a problem at all as far as getting glare or reflections in this crystal. As we pan over towards my bright studio lights, it's, obviously it's very bright, so you're getting reflection there, but it's certainly not bad. The watch stays very legible. And finally, it comes on this actually pretty nice leather strap. In speaking about Seiko watches again, it's really very common that you end up buying a $100 to $200 Seiko watch, whether it's quartz or automatic is almost irrelevant. If it comes on leather, the first thing you do is throw that leather strap away. In this case, I would 100% keep this leather strap. And honestly, if I was looking for leather straps for any other watch, I would consider asking these guys if they make just the straps for sale, because they are very, very good quality straps. It's extremely comfortable. It's not a super, super thick strap. I like everything about the strap. Now, if we want to jump in here and talk about the quality of the watch, the design and the styling, this is where, I'm giving it all thumbs up. The case itself, if we want to look at the finishing up nice and close, along the sides of the case, we have a pretty decent brushed finish, with the tops being a basically mirrored polish. You probably see me in my camera and stuff reflecting there in the lugs. And then around the outer edge of the dial, there's a very thin, almost, I don't know what I would say, delicate bezel going all the way around, which if we look really close, off camera there, that's actually a brushed finish. So it's a mixture of brushed and polished finishes, and it looks excellent. It's pretty well done. I definitely like the overall aesthetic and styling of the case. The main thing, well, before we get to the main thing, which is the dial, I'll tell you about the crown really quick. It is signed with the Camden C, and the shape of the crown, I'm not sure what the exact styling is on that. There's a word for it. It's not like an onion crown exactly. I think they explained the word that you use to describe the crown on their website, and I forget it off the top of my head. But it's not just a simple little, round crown. It's got a pretty cool shape and excuse me, a pretty cool shape and design to it, and it's very easy to actuate. You can get your thumb under there, and you can pull it out. Of course, quartz movement, it hacks, and then in this position we can set the time. The setting of the time is exactly a very precise. Push the crown back in, clock start, or watch starts running again. Now, other than the crown, the main thing that most of us are drawn to when we're looking for watches, when we're shopping for watches, and what we enjoyed the most about watches is the dial layout, the style of the dial. And I am a very big fan of both old style pocket watches, and this is obviously inspired by Victorian era pocket watches and Roman numerals. It has this train track style chapter ring, and yeah, the whole thing, the design, it's really appealing to me. I don't know that, is it for everybody? Maybe not. Everyone's taste is subjective, but I do think that it's very, very nice looking. The branding on the center of the dial is, Camden. If we get in there really close, if I can get the camera to focus, there we go, Camden, the Camden Watch Company, and this little slash with a little circle in the middle. So it's very clean. There's not a whole lot going on other than the Roman numeral indices, this, again, outer chapter ring, rail track style chapter ring, and then a subdial for your second. So obviously you don't have a full-size second hand. We have a small subdial at the 6 o'clock position. If we look close at the dial, you can see that the outer ring with all of the indices for your current time is kind of raised up, or conversely, the inner section of the dial is kind of recessed. That's cool. It adds just a little bit of depth, and it's more interesting than a perfectly flat dial. So yeah, I like that quite a bit. And then the subdial for your current active seconds is sitting down within that recessed area. The handset on this, we do have on the subdial a darker finished, I almost can't even tell, it's so small. I think it's blued. It could be black, but it's a very dark, I think, blued finish. And then your main hour and minute hands are these very sharp, almost needle-like, high-polished handset, basically. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. It's a little bit late, so I'm kind of at a loss for words here so far tonight. Sorry about that for, stumbling a couple of times there. Regardless, the overall layout and the presentation of this dial, again, I'm a big fan of. If you saw my review on the Orient Bambino, which is another kind of similar watch in presentation with the Roman numerals and, just a very simple old Victorian almost styling to it. I'm a big fan of these styles of watches, the Orient Bambino and of course this one now. I would like to get an actual vintage pocket watch kind of in this vein. That would be really cool. I don't have one in my collection, but maybe someday. Anyway, yeah, that's, more or less everything that I can show you about the watch itself. I'll give you another quick look at the strap because I didn't touch on it too closely here. The buckle hardware does have that same little slash with the dot. I guess that's part of their branding or logo. We do have the sewn-in keeper with a free floating keeper, a nice brown leather with white contrast stitching, and the underside is it lined? I'm not entirely sure actually if that's a lining or not. I assume it probably is. But we have the Camden Watch Company logo on that end, and then, just genuine leather on this end, which you would pretty much expect. But yeah, overall, very impressed with this watch. I'll go ahead and I'll pull my, what am I wearing today? My Casio G-Shock. I'll pull that off my wrist, throw this on, and give you guys a little bit of a wrist shot of it and close out this review. Alright guys, so here's the Camden Watch Company number 29 on my roughly 6 3/4 to 7 inch wrist. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the 43mm sizing. That's the only really negative that I would say about this, and that's going to be totally subjective. If you're somebody with larger wrists, or if you just enjoy a little bit of a larger watch, you're going to absolutely love it. My tendencies tend to favor smaller watches, but obviously it looks fine on my wrist. If I slide it back just a little bit further away from my wrist, you can see that it doesn't hang over. You know, I mean, lug to lug is a nice dimension at 43mm. So, you know, I mean, it fits fine. Just a little bit large on the diameter for my tastes. Again, the strap, I really like the strap. Because the watch is thin and the strap is relatively not bulky. You know, it's not got like a padding in the middle or anything. It stays really low to the wrist and it's quite comfortable. So, yeah, overall, again, I do like this watch quite a bit. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I appreciate you tuning in, and yeah, I'll be back later on this week, or, well, what day is it today? Yeah, it's going on Thursday, probably next week with another watch review. Alright guys, bye.